This is history in the making and a historic battle that's expected to draw a Super Bowl-sized audience. KTLA 5's John Fenoglio live in studio this afternoon. And John, what can we expect tonight?
Mark, Lou, Super Bowl, World Series, whatever you want to call it, tonight's presidential debate has arrived, and it is expected to be a record-breaking event. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will take their long-range fight close range as they square off on stage for the first time. Some 100 million viewers could tune in, and all this as polls show the two candidates in a virtual dead heat. All of that means the stakes could not be higher. It's the narrow margins, those narrow margins, that really are driving an expectations game here. The Clinton campaign argues that the bar has been set pretty low for Trump. In other words, if he doesn't fall back on the easily agitated Trump we saw during the primary debates, he'll come off looking presidential. So one of Trump's big challenges tonight is about appearing calm, cool, and credible on the issues. For her part, Mrs. Clinton is a policy expert, but she has to appear relatable to voters, many of whom perceive her as robotic at times. And Lou, Mark, all of that said, debates are about moments that can make or break a candidate's performance. Both Clinton and Trump have been studying each other's past debate performances to learn their respective vulnerabilities.
Well, let's talk about this, John. There has been a lot of talk about how differently these candidates have been approaching the preparations for the first debate. What can you tell us about that?
Well, Mrs. Clinton in particular has been hard at work preparing for this debate. Sources say she's even had a Trump stand-in to throw her curveballs. Now, we've learned that she's actually preparing for two different Donald Trumps, one that's potentially polite and measured, somewhat disarming. The other, Trump the performer, the brash and aggressive Trump who really came out swinging against his Republican opponents during the primaries. The Trump team has been pushing a different narrative, one that says their candidate doesn't want to over-prepare. But of course, Mr. Trump has been preparing. He's been consulting with advisors Rudy Giuliani and Chris Christie at Trump Tower. And you can likely count on Trump to hammer Clinton over her emails and Middle East policy, specifically Libya and the raid on Benghazi. Now, the entire debate will last about 90 minutes without commercial interruption. You can, of course, watch it right here on KTLA at 6 p.m. And I'll have highlights coming up on the news at 10. Lou, Mark, back to you.
John Fenoglio live in studio this afternoon. John, thanks so much for that report.